Hey guys, Katie here, and I'm going to be doing the book Unhaul challenge from Kayla at Books and Lala, and it's basically just a tag to get rid of your shit, and I'm going to do it. That's it. That's the intro. Question number 1 is a book you rated low. Also, I'm going to put on this list Final Girls by Riley Sager. Didn't like it. Question number 2, a book you changed your mind about. This one is a little hard, so I actually have 2, like always. I have The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I'm changing my mind about, not because it wasn't a good book, which it definitely was. It was very fun, but it isn't a lasting book in my opinion. And it is like signed by the author. It's an Owl Crate edition. I just didn't care about it as much as I thought I would. So I'm going to unhaul it. The other one I'm going to unhaul for this is How You Lose the Time War. I think that the letters between blue and red are iconically gay, like iconically lesbian icon gold. The rest of it, I thought that I was just stupid reading it. And then now I'm looking back on it going, why should I keep a book on my shelf that made me feel stupid? I don't like it. No. Number 3 is a series you won't be completing. Now I'm going to be doing Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. Not because the series is not absolutely phenomenal, because it is worth your time. It's so good. I am just not going to be continuing with it. There's just too much to buy and read, and it just comes out too often, and it just honestly, like volumes of comics, just gives me anxiety. Like there's just too much pressure. Another comic series that I will not be continuing, even though I'm pretty sure only a couple volumes came out past what I had read, oh my god, is The Walking Dead. Oh my god, Jesus. Okay, so I have Compendium 1, I have Compendium 2, and I have a slew of volumes. And again, this is arguably my favorite, I don't know, longevity-wise, my favorite comic I've ever read. I really love it. I adore it. You can tell. I read it for years and years and years. But it was just going on for too long, and looking at them on my shelf made me anxious, because I was like, I'm never going to be able to reread all of these. Like it's too much. Somebody else needs to enjoy these for the first time, because I don't think I'm going to enjoy them a second time. Number 4 is a book you DNF'd. And that's going to be The Martian by Andy Weir, which is so disappointing to me. This is like a sci-fi classic. And it's not that it's not good, but I was so incredibly bored reading this book. It felt like an interesting textbook, but still a textbook. And I just didn't care. Number 5 is a book you own multiple copies of. That's going to be The Archived by Victoria Schwab. So I own this book, but then I also own the bind-up edition of The Archived, The Unbound, and the novella. And I do not have the Unbound as an individual copy. So I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't need both. Number 6, a book you'll never actually get to. The oldest one on my shelf is definitely Money by Tony Robbins. This is a freaking brick. Like, good God. How many pages is this book? This has got to be like 600. Yeah, it's 650 pages. Absolutely not. I have heard great things about Tony Robbins. That's awesome. I'm not going to read this. I have 2 other books for this category as well. I have The Perfect Stranger by Megan Miranda. It has pretty good ratings on Goodreads, but I just never hear anybody talk about it, and I'm just not excited to read it, so I'm going to pass it on. Next, I have Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina. I really, really loved The Couple Next Door. I gave it 4 out of 5. I thought it was very fast and engaging and really good, but then I also read A Stranger in the House, and this is another book I'm unhauling. And that just didn't make me want to pick this book up. If one of her books was like good but not great and the other one was bad, I'm just like, you know what? Pass this on. Number 7 is a book you bought because of the hype. And aren't they all? But the most notable in that category is going to be Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is not a bad series by any means. I don't want anybody to think I'm dissing this series. It's just, I'm not middle grade. These are for middle grade readers. I don't have a nostalgia to them. I did not read them when I was younger. I tried reading them as an adult and I could not get past the intellectual like immaturity of being a young kid. And it didn't click with me. I thought it was okay, but somebody else is really gonna adore this. Or even an adult who read it when they were a kid, because these are very nice editions, somebody else is gonna like it. Another one that fits in this category is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I should have known going in that the only John Green book I have ever liked is The Fault in Our Stars. Personally, I just am not a fan of his writing. I think he's an incredible guy. And with this book, I read it and I don't remember like barely anything about it. And I read it like last year. 8, a book you bought because of the cover. The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I saw this at Costco and I thought it was gorgeous and I love the feel of it. It's that like rubberized matte texture. And I just think that the yellow writing on here is like so eye-catching and it's so pretty. But I didn't like it. I know a lot of other people did. It just wasn't for me. It seemed impossible and so incredibly far-fetched in my opinion. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to spoil it. It wasn't my thing. 9 is a book you know nothing about. And I'm actually going to have to reuse 2 of my books. The ones I talked about earlier, The Perfect Stranger by Megan Miranda and Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina. I legit have no idea what either of these is about. Not even an inkling. I can't even tell you if the main character is a girl or a guy. Like, I have no idea. But I have no interest in reading them. And number 10 is a book that you didn't buy. Now, I don't have this one physically because I did just give it to a free library next to my house, but it's going to be The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. My best friend actually gave me this book. She read it, she lent it to me and didn't tell me anything about it. And I read it and I was so invested. I was so invested for like the first 90% of the book. I was loving it. But that ending sucked. That ending sucked. Sucked so hard. It was so bad. So bad. And then my best friend was like, yeah, it was terrible. I'm like, you didn't think, tell me that? What? And she's like, oh, I wanted to see what you were going to say. And then when I tried to give the book back to her, she was like, keep it. I don't want it back in my house. Get rid of it. So I immediately, when she said that, literally the second she said that on the phone, I was like, okay, bye, hung up and walked to the free library in my neighborhood and put it in the free library. And then I saw it disappear the next day. And then 2 days later, it came back up in a free library, like a couple neighborhoods over that I was like walking to, and it disappeared. And then it came right back. I was like, yeah, because the ending sucks. Nobody wants to keep it. All right, so that's going to be the end of this book unhaul. I love stuff like this. These tags are so interesting to me, and I adore getting rid of stuff. Like, it's like my kink is to get rid of shit. I love it. So thank you, Books and Lala. This was so fun and entertaining, and I'm sure I'm probably going to do it again in like 6 months. Like, I'm already thinking about doing it again. So I'm glad you guys watched. I will have my Goodreads and my Instagram linked down below. I would love it if you followed me on those and gave me either like recommendations, like books you love, books that are on my TBR that you want me to read. I'll listen or read whatever it is that you guys want me to listen to next. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you stay tuned for my next video, and have a great day.